At 4:17 a.m. on March 4th, 2024, a luxury shuttle bus pulled away from the neon-drenched Vegas Strip like a predator slipping into the night. The city's artificial daylight faded behind tinted windows as the vehicle merged into the pre-dawn darkness, its engine purring with the quiet confidence of expensive German engineering. Inside the climate-controlled cabin, four high-stakes poker players sat in leather seats worth more than most people's cars. Their faces bore the hollow exhaustion of men who'd spent 72 hours straight in windowless rooms, surviving on espresso shots, pharmaceutical stimulants, and the adrenaline rush of million-dollar hands. Bloodshot eyes stared at nothing. Manicured fingers twitched with phantom card movements. The air reeked of expensive cologne mixed with the metallic scent of fear sweat. None of them spoke. They couldn't. Not about what was really happening, not about the black duffel bags resting in the cargo hold like sleeping bombs. Each bag contained exactly $4.1 million in unmarked bills, payment for a fentanyl shipment that would flood Phoenix, Tucson, and Albuquerque with enough poison to kill thousands. The money had been cleaned through the casino's private tables, transformed from drug proceeds into legitimate gambling winnings through a system so elegant it was almost art. The passengers dozed fitfully, their subconscious minds alert to dangers their exhausted brains couldn't process. In the rearview mirror, driver Darius Knox watched them with the patience of a spider observing flies caught in his web. His hands were steady on the wheel, but beneath his uniform shirt, his heart hammered against his ribs like a caged animal. 3 hours and 17 minutes. That's how long their flight would take to reach Phoenix. By then, Knox would either be the richest man in Nevada or the deadest. There was no middle ground in his world. Not when you were stealing from the Sinaloa cartel, not when $16 million could buy your freedom or guarantee your grave. The shuttle's GPS showed the direct route to McCarran International Airport, 12 miles of highway that should take exactly 27 minutes in light traffic. But Knox had other plans. His modified route would add 7 crucial minutes and pass through a surveillance blind spot he'd spent weeks identifying. 7 minutes to execute the perfect theft. 7 minutes to change his life forever. As the strip's last neon sign disappeared behind them, one of the passengers stirred and mumbled something in Spanish about being watched. Knox's grip tightened on the steering wheel. In the cargo hold, $16.4 million waited in darkness, unaware that it was about to vanish into the American night along with the man who'd spent his entire life being invisible. The clock on the dashboard read 4:19 a.m. In less than 3 hours, 4 duffel bags would be opened in a Phoenix warehouse, revealing nothing but hotel towels, construction bricks, and the shattered remnants of a criminal empire's trust. But for now, the money was still there, still real, still waiting for the moment when everything would change forever. If you're loving these incredible true crime breakdowns, smash that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing heist stories. Drop a comment below. What city are you watching from? Let's see how far our crime community reaches. Darius Knox had been invisible for 39 years, the kind of man who blended into the background of Las Vegas's 24-hour economy. A former Caesars Palace valet turned airport shuttle driver, he possessed the perfect combination of access, trust, and desperation that would make him irresistible to the Sinaloa cartel's money laundering operation. Knox's transformation from honest worker to master criminal began with tragedy. 2 years earlier, his younger brother Marcus had overdosed in a downtown motel, leaving behind debts that attracted the wrong kind of attention. The official cause of death was fentanyl poisoning, but street rumors told a different story. Marcus had been skimming money from cartel drug sales, and his death was no accident. The debt didn't die with Marcus. Within weeks of the funeral, Darius began receiving visits from well-dressed men who spoke in euphemisms about family obligations and outstanding balances. They were patient but clear. The Knox family owed money, and someone would pay. Darius's position at Caesar's Palace made him valuable in ways he didn't initially understand. As a valet, he developed relationships with VIP casino staff, learned the routines of high-roller guests, and gained intimate knowledge of how money moved through the resort's complex ecosystem. When he transitioned to airport shuttle driving, that knowledge became even more precious. The cartel's money laundering operation was sophisticated, disguising drug proceeds as legitimate gambling winnings. High-stakes players would arrive in Vegas with suitcases full of dirty cash, lose deliberately at private tables, then leave with clean money paid out through the casino's legal channels. The system worked because everyone involved had incentives to look the other way. The offer came during a routine late-night run in January 2024. Darius was driving a group of supposed whale gamblers from Bellagio to the airport when one passenger, introduced as a casino host named Miguel, made casual conversation about family and financial pressures. "Your brother had expensive tastes," Miguel said quietly as the strip lights flashed past the windows. The other passengers appeared to be sleeping, but Darius suspected they were listening to every word. "But debts don't have to be inherited. Smart men find opportunities." The proposition was elegantly simple. During a specific future run, Darius would swap 4 identical duffel bags belonging to cartel mules. The bags contained $16.4 million in cash being moved from Vegas to Phoenix as part of a larger trafficking operation. In exchange for the theft, Marcus's debt would be forgiven and Darius would receive $200,000 in clean bills. 4 bags, Miguel repeated, sliding a burner phone across the seat. "That's all. Do it right, and your family's troubles disappear forever." What Miguel didn't mention was that the cartel expected Darius to be caught or killed during the heist. The operation was designed as a double cross. They would recover their money, eliminate a liability, and send a message to other potential thieves. But Darius Knox was smarter than they realized. Over 6 weeks, Darius transformed himself from desperate victim into calculating predator. His preparation was methodical, patient, and inspired by 18 months of watching cartel operations from the inside. He studied passenger patterns obsessively, learning that high-roller mules typically traveled in groups of 3 or 4, preferred early morning flights to avoid scrutiny, and carried their money in identical black duffel bags purchased from the same wholesale supplier. The bags were deliberately nondescript, Samsonite knockoffs that looked expensive, but were actually mass-produced in China. Darius purchased matching bags from the same supplier, a surplus dealer on Industrial Road who sold to hotels, casinos, and private security companies. He filled them with carefully calculated weights, hotel towels for softness, construction bricks for heft, and expired casino chips for the distinctive rattling sound that real money made when shaken. The mechanical aspects of the heist required more creativity. Working nights in an abandoned lot near UNLV, Darius modified his assigned shuttle bus with a magnetic compartment hidden beneath the passenger area. The compartment could be opened remotely using a garage door opener he'd rigged to a different frequency. During the heist, real money bags would drop through the floor and be retrieved later. His most inspired innovation was recruiting an accomplice without their knowledge. Carlos, a day-shift casino porter with gambling problems, owed Darius money from a previous loan. Darius convinced him to pose as a drunk tourist during the critical loading phase, creating distractions that would mask the bag swap. Carlos never knew he was part of a $16.4 million robbery. March 4th began like any other Monday in Las Vegas. The weekend's gambling rush was winding down, leaving behind exhausted high rollers and depleted bank accounts. Darius arrived for his 4 a.m. shift at Bellagio's valet station, where 4 passengers waited with military precision. The mules were professionals, 2 men and 2 women who looked like successful business travelers rather than cartel operatives. Their luggage was identical down to the serial numbers, their body language relaxed but alert. They spoke quietly in Spanish and English, discussing flight times and ground transportation with the casual familiarity of frequent travelers. Loading began at exactly 4:15 a.m. As Darius placed each duffel in the cargo area, he noted the weight, roughly 40 pounds each, consistent with densely packed currency. Carlos arrived on schedule, stumbling into the loading area with exaggerated drunkenness and demanding to know why his taxi was late. The distraction lasted exactly 90 seconds. Enough time for Darius to activate his hidden compartment and replace 4 bags with carefully weighted decoys. The switch was flawless. Each dummy bag contained the same weight distribution as the original, down to the placement of hard objects that would feel like bundled bills if squeezed through the fabric. Old casino chips provided the authentic sound of money shifting during transport. As the shuttle pulled away from Bellagio, Darius maintained his professional demeanor. He offered bottled water, adjusted the air conditioning, and made small talk about weather and traffic. The passengers dozed fitfully, their body clocks disrupted by days of continuous gambling and chemical enhancement. 27 minutes into the drive, Darius executed the most dangerous phase of his plan. Using surface streets instead of the direct highway route, he navigated to a predetermined alley near UNLV where a Confederate waited in a stolen pickup truck. The magnetic compartment release worked perfectly. 4 duffel bags containing $16.4 million dropped through the shuttle floor onto a padded tarp, then were quickly transferred to the waiting vehicle. The entire exchange took less than 2 minutes and appeared on no security cameras. Darius had scouted the location for weeks, identifying a blind spot in the city's surveillance network. Returning to his route, he arrived at McCarran Airport right on schedule. Passengers retrieved their luggage without inspection. Airport security was focused on incoming flights, not departing shuttle passengers. The dummy bags passed through X-ray machines without incident, their contents appearing as personal belongings rather than criminal evidence. Darius completed his shift normally, parking the shuttle and logging off his duty roster. He changed clothes in a Terminal 1 restroom, abandoning his company uniform in a janitor's closet, where it wouldn't be discovered for hours. His escape route had been planned with the same precision as the heist itself. A private charter van registered to a fake cleaning company waited in long-term parking. The vehicle's paperwork showed it belonged to Desert Maintenance Solutions, a shell company Darius had created using identity theft techniques learned from the cartel's document forgers. Driving toward Arizona, Darius activated his exit strategy. The van's license plates were magnetic fakes that could be swapped in seconds. A hidden compartment contained new identification documents, hair dye, colored contact lenses, and clothes that would transform his appearance completely. By the time passengers discovered their bags contained towels and bricks instead of money, Darius Knox had vanished into the American Southwest with one of the largest cash thefts in Vegas history. Casino security discovered the theft when passengers called from Phoenix, reporting that their luggage contained worthless debris instead of personal belongings. Initial confusion gave way to panic as the scope of the theft became clear. $16.4 million had been stolen from under the noses of some of America's most sophisticated security systems. FBI Special Agent Maria Sanos took command of the investigation within hours. Her team's analysis of security footage revealed Darius's careful preparation, from his route deviations to the suspicious timing of Carlos's drunken interruption. But by then, the trail was cold. This wasn't amateur hour, Sanos told reporters during a press conference. Knox had been planning this for months, maybe years. He knew our procedures better than most of our own people. The cartel's response was swift and brutal. A $500,000 bounty was placed on Darius's head within 48 hours, with additional rewards offered for information leading to the money's recovery. But the organization had underestimated their target. Knox had anticipated their retaliation and prepared accordingly. Digital forensics revealed that Darius had been studying successful heists for years, learning from the mistakes of criminals who'd been caught and the successes of those who'd vanished. His preparation included cryptocurrency accounts, offshore banking arrangements, and identity documents purchased from the same forgers who served cartel leadership. 6 months later, Darius Knox remains one of America's most wanted fugitives. The FBI's investigation has expanded across multiple states, following financial transactions and surveillance footage through Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. But Knox seems to stay one step ahead of law enforcement, aided by resources and knowledge gained during his years in Las Vegas's underworld. Agent Santos believes Knox is still in the Southwest, possibly working under an assumed identity in a community where cash transactions don't raise suspicions. He's not flashy, she explains. This is someone who spent his entire life being invisible. Now he's using that skill to disappear with $16 million. The cartel, meanwhile, has reportedly restructured their entire Vegas operation following the theft. New security protocols, different courier routes, and enhanced surveillance have been implemented to prevent future losses. But the damage to their reputation has been severe. If one shuttle driver could steal their money so easily, what did that say about their overall security? Today, Darius Knox exists somewhere in the liminal space between myth and reality. Alleged sightings come from across the American West. A quiet man who pays cash for everything, works with his hands, and keeps to himself. Each tip generates federal response teams and local manhunts, but Knox remains elusive. The money, too, has vanished without trace. Unlike drug proceeds that can be tracked through banking systems, this cash appears to have been converted into untraceable assets or simply hidden until the investigation cools. Knox's background in casino operations gave him intimate knowledge of how large amounts of currency could be moved, cleaned, and invested without attracting official attention. His brother's debt, the original catalyst for this remarkable crime, died with Marcus Knox. But the theft created new debts and new enemies, turning Darius from victim into target. The cartel's bounty ensures he can never truly rest, never fully enjoy his stolen fortune, never return to the life he once knew. Perhaps that's justice enough. To live forever as a ghost, wealthy but isolated, free but hunted, successful in the biggest heist of his generation, but unable to celebrate or share his victory. Somewhere in America, a man who was invisible for 39 years continues to perfect the art of disappearing, carrying $16 million and the weight of choices that can never be undone. The neon lights of Las Vegas continue to flash, drawing new dreamers and new victims to the desert. But casino security officers still talk about the shuttle driver who outsmarted them all, and cartel operatives still wonder if their next courier might be planning the same kind of betrayal. In a city built on impossible odds, Darius Knox achieved the ultimate jackpot and vanished before anyone could stop him.